All right, guys, we're back for round 13's review for Supercoach 2024. Um, Horrible week. I made a Twitter post on this. This has probably been my worst week, like in comparison, for the last 2 years. Um, every single thing that could go wrong went wrong. The only shining light that was a positive this week was I did Captain Gorn. As soon as there was talk about a Dacos tag, I switched it to Gorn. Did that Saturday morning, something around then. Not Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning. I hate when there's a Monday game. I understand that they're all for good causes and stuff, but I hate Monday games. Bane of my existence is a Monday game. It throws my whole weekend off. So, going into it. I mean, instantly we're on the Dacos thing, right? So 64 got tagged. Didn't honestly think the tag was that good. It's just kind of Dacos wasn't as good. Yeah, I mean, heard it on commentary throughout the game and in a large part of the pre-game. The tag is back, right? So all the teams are looking for taggers. Who Bont has been tagged in the past. All the big teams right now kind of have a tagger. Brisbane have Lions, no, Berry, Jared Berry, have and Windhager. Dogs don't really have anyone, that's why they're not a top team. Frio have multiple guys that do defensive jobs. Like Hayden Young is a defensive job type of guy. I've seen them tag before with weird guys like Aish or that. Richmond, they don't have anyone, and I mean Richmond's midfield has been defensively horrible even when they were good, right? Defensively, not a strong midfield. Hawks have, I mean, Finn McGuinness, John Newcomb's a defensive midfielder, like a couple of guys that can just roam around. Adelaide have Keys, who doesn't do it anymore but used to. They could definitely call up a guy or two, but their midfield is so harsh this year. Swans, James Jordan, North. I mean, don't even have a competent AFL list. Collingwood, most of their list is injured. GWS don't really have one now I think of it. They're just kind of a very well-rounded midfield. And then Port have Drew that'll do jobs on people. But yeah, all the top teams have tags. And this week, going through the team, you're going to hear X person got tagged, this person got tagged. It's just how it is now, right? We have to actually start playing around tags and getting in people, not just because their schedule's good, but because their schedule avoids taggers. In reality, against Melbourne for Nick Dacos is a good matchup on a big game, like a King's Birthday MND game. Big game for him, and he's a guy that shows up in big games, but yeah, the tag was no good. Sheasel, other hand, was pretty good. I mean, it was against West Coast, right? People are making it out oh my god, they've done it, they've won the game. Oh my god, that's amazing. They beat 16th, and 16th look like 16th, right? Not even 16th. What are they They might be 17th now. Job, great job. You beat the team that look like where they should be on the ladder. And an AFL team got one win for the year. Huge. That's groundbreaking. Naz 90, didn't really watch much of the Saints game. Off the top of my head, I can't even remember who they played. They play Gold Coast. Yeah, I didn't watch this game. I think I was just burnt out on footy. I did not want to watch it. But yeah, Naz not bad for a 90. What were the stats looking like? The inefficient game. 28 touches, 5 marks, tackle. Yeah, I mean, could have just been inefficient. For how important efficiency is to champion to utter, it should be on that stats screen. Just like give it a number and then just say it's like it represents a percentage. Yeah, Nick Martin, he's the only guy that can have 25 touches, 2 goals, and have a bad game. Like horrendous game. Kicking accuracy doesn't exist with him. Basically lost the game for Essendon, like pretty much. Couldn't kick straight to save his life. What it is. Probably not going to be top 6 now. I think the average has tanked a lot over the last couple of weeks, and it feels like whenever I have him in, he sucks. He's out of my team. He's good. At the middle of the season here, it's when he's not in my team versus when he is in my team, right? Like, it's can't win on a player like that. We'll see what happens towards the end of the year if I can trade him out. We'll see with trades. The way I've kind of calced everything is I don't need to make these kind of end of season sideways trades. I thought I, kind of got everyone in the realm of top 8 to 10 in their position. Yeah, it kind of hasn't ended up that way. Closey was terrible. Needed him to just not suck, and he sucked. Dawson, I don't even know what happened to him. I actually have to read up what happened to him. I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna Google it. So from AFL ratings, they're just saying that it was a shoulder concern. I know he did get subbed out, but I didn't know what the injury was. I wasn't watching the first quarter. I was still at work. Yeah, I mean, can't win on this, right? Like, this is just one of those. You'll have some smart ass say like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have went early on him. Oh, you should have waited and seen." Dude, like, you can't predict that there's going to be a shoulder injury in the first quarter and he ends on a 0, right? Like, that is so stupid. And the fact that I've already seen that comment, like, I've already seen more than one person say that. It's so stupid. And why, like, the game's dying. The community is terrible for it. And I'm not talking about content creators, I'm talking about the actual player community. Yeah, Dawson is what it is. They're on bye. Bont 99 is what it is. Cop tag, pretty hard tag as well, from Berry. Almost said Lions again. I don't know why that's not clicking in my head. Yeah, Berry is good defensively. He doesn't. I mean, he's good enough offensively, kind of on the wing. Moves in a little bit, but yeah, all of his value comes from his defense, and he showed it. I think Bont should have moved forward a lot earlier in the game. Kind of waited till the second half game was over. Yeah, if I was Bevo, I'd resign because you're not competent at doing your job. But would have moved Bont forward as soon as you see the tag starts to kick in that first quarter, second quarter. Move him up, right? Then you've got Jack McRae, who's not anymore. He's gotten up in age a little bit, but Jack McRae's an all Australian level midfielder. Move him down. Yeah, you can. Doing Bevo's job is too easy, and somehow he screws it up. Merritt, I thought he was good. I thought he kind of deserved a little bit higher than 125, but it makes sense. Essendon did fall apart. I think he had a couple of bad turnovers. What did he actually end up? I feel like his stats were 21. I mean, I thought it was 11 tackles, so that kind of carried the score. 3 free kicks, 4, and then 1 against. The worst. Not the worst. 125 is something you take. Walsh, 87. Kept out of it, right? Just couldn't impact the game at all. Makes me think that this is gonna be that week that I go Steele to Walsh, Grundy to Sweet. Then I brought someone else in. I can't remember who it is. It might have been Merritt. Might be the single worst trade I've made since I actually understood how to play Supercoach. Might be the worst trade I've ever made. Like it completely derailed the season. Could have been top 100 right now. I didn't ruin that. Ruined the whole team in one week. Rao 82 and Took 58. I mean, just this was not the game I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a lot more high scoring, but then it does make sense. St Kilda want to play contested. Gold Coast want to play contested. You'd think that helps Rao. It doesn't. He needs to have like a free flowing game that Gold Coast control into being a contested game. That's where Rao is good. And then Miller just kind of wants the team to be really good. When the team kind of front runs a little bit too, he's like one of the top mids in the comp. He's seen like he can put up like a 140, right? Like can be one of the top guys. 140 there, 130. I thought there was a 150 this year, but I guess not. Yeah, I mean, Took Miller. I can't remember if I did. If I didn't, I probably made like a first week correction trade to him. Probably not the worst, but in hindsight, I'd have to see who else was available. Sullivan, down week from him, but he's given 2 good weeks, so it's about time he gave a down week. It just sucks that it was in the week where I only had one person turn up in the midfield. Most expensive kind of area. Frazier, not the best. 53, not good enough. Dogs got battered, so I don't know if his job is going to be at risk, but there will be like a selection meeting about who gets named this week. Dowling went early on him, and people are going to be like, oh, you shouldn't have went early on him. He looked good when he had the ball. His kicking is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. The problem here is Matthew Nicks cannot coach at all. You could give him all-star team against an under 12s team and he'd manage to make it a close game, right? Like, you brought in a midfielder that plays inside mid, averages 25 touches in twos for Adelaide, so you have all the vision of him, and then play him half forward. They have all the vision of him, so they'd already know that he's not a good kick, and they play him half forward. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. This is one of the dumbest ends of the year because they just botched it so hard. Wouldn't be surprised he gets dropped this week after like the rumours that Adelaide is kind of in its like boy club phase where a lot of guys won't accept being dropped and they kind of have like superiority over selection committees and stuff like that. So someone who goes for West Coast, and I mean Andrew Gaff is getting a game in the year of 2024. It's going to be hard. Could see him getting dropped, even if he's a talented young kid. If the veterans don't want to leave and they have superiority in the locker room and will just make it toxic if you drop them, probably going to get dropped. Even though he did have a good game. Like, when he had any form of like open room, he was able to get to the ball. 13 and 4. He's the type of guy you want this inverted. You want 13 handballs. He's just not really the kick in accurately type of guy. 1 goal did kind of save it, but he could have had 3. McAuliffe was the sub, and I thought he looked really good as the sub. Don't know if that means he's going to continue to be like a super sub type of thing, like if you watch soccer and stuff like that, like a super sub. Could be. I think he's kind of earned a spot in the team. It's hard with, Prestia, Taranto. He's got to come back at some point during the year. Dusty, he's playing his 300th, so you can't drop him. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I would play him, but it is what it is. They're going to use him as super sub. Vaughan was good, did go with the captain. Best of the available choices, right? Like Flanders was never in consideration. It was like Heaney, Bont, Merritt, Dacos. Did get the highest score of them, but yeah, still could have been a better game from him. I thought like towards the end of the game when the game was out of reach. He was trying to carry the team and it just ended up being a negative. It's more of a Melbourne issue. Melbourne, something's happened at that club. Goodwin, Simon Goodwin has to go. Gonna have to rebuild that team because there's something wrong with the culture there. Those players do not look invested at all, right? Like they look so disinterested in football. A lot of those guys have had like that issue brought up to them before. Marshall finally had a good week against Ned Moyle. Expected a 130, so even this not good enough. Flanders obviously was the big pick of their big score of the week. 152. Didn't watch the game, so is what it is. I don't have anything to say on it. Heaney 116. Big comeback from them. Geelong poked it is an absolute like understatement. They just they got their lead and decided, we're done, right? Like, that's good enough. We're done. I think after that, Geelong's probably got a couple more losses. That's got to be demoralising for the team. Heaney's game though, him and Warner, I thought went unders, but was the top scoring guy from that game. Sydney. Yeah, Goulden was. That's right. Yeah, I knew it was one of the midfielders. I just couldn't think. Papley had a couple. Grundy dominated, but that's because Geelong. McInerney, another big game from him. Blakey, almost a ton. Yeah, I mean, Chad Warner, I still don't think was a bad trade-in. I just think it was against Geelong. So. Zorko brought him in this week. I expected a way worse score. I think his lowest average versus a team is versus the Dogs. So expected a lot worse. Expected towards like a 70. I think the blowout did kind of help keep his score up. So yeah, we'll take that. This week he's got St Kilda. Hopefully he doesn't get tagged. Hopefully they tag like Neil or Dunkley. I think it would be Neil. Because Neil's dominated the Saints for a couple of years now. So I hope Zorko's free of it. Should be a big score from him. Fisher, he played good, but he's got the like best role on the worst team, which makes it an even better role. Is what it is, right? Like he really, his bottom should be like a 110. How he's whatever, he's gonna have to go at the end of the year. But the issue is, we'll get to it in trades. There's still no forwards, right? There's still no forwards that I like. Given it to round 14, we're more than halfway through the year, there were no good forwards. And it's not even a player thing anymore. Now it's a Supercoach thing. Next year, none of these guys are going to be pickable. He'll be a midfielder. He'll be a defender. Heaney will be a midfielder. Zorko will be defender. Maybe defend the mid. Fisher will be defender. Powell will be a midfielder. Dempsey will be a forward, but he won't be pickable because he's not good enough at scoring. Fife might retire, and if he doesn't, he'll probably be more midfield. Seriously, what is this? Like, we've got to rework the scoring system. Like, seriously, there is no counter argument to this. We have to rework the scoring system. Dylan Moore will be F1 next year. Dylan Moore, Luke Jackson, F1, F2. Guy Caldwell, F3. Are you serious? Like, what are we doing? We have to rework this. We have to make goals from forwards mean more. Like that key forwards are pickable because they'll always be a forward. And then, Fife didn't play. So into trades, right? So I did want to bring in a forward this week. So that, Closey, and I don't know, Jones, just to get another playing guy in. But there's no one. Don't need a defender. I've already got them all, right? Like, you could say, like, yeah, you should go Ridley, another guaranteed top 6 guy, move Dacos into the midfield. He'll be in the realm of top 8, like he's one in the average, basically. So, I don't know. think for this, I think I'd do that. Um, I don't know, actually. Three forwards. I can bring in one. Rankin supposedly is back this week, but what's his break? 57? No, it's not the worst. He could break. So let's just say Rankin's back. Even then, if he's back this week, I'm not sure I want to pick him. Jackson, I just don't see it. Unless Darcy's out, I don't really see it. Dylan Moore is hit or miss, right? More of the time, it's going to miss. Got Richmond this week. Richmond West Coast is a good 2. Oh, not poorly. No, I'm not doing the Dylan Moore. Caldwell's being kind of good, but not good enough. Only 90 average. There's no forwards. Like, all these guys aren't going to be here next year. This is going to be just forwards again. Like, key forwards. Ray will be here, but another year older, I don't see it. This is looking terrible for next year. Kruger, I thought was good, but I don't know if he's going to keep his spot. Bring him in for now just to kind of make money work. Realistic guy that makes money work. And Day's not getting a game. Done. Enzi played. I guess he's on bye this week. McMullen is like only a sub for them. His points per minute has to be insane. Because only the sub, and he always like gets towards a 50. I see points per minute. 1.7 has to be really good for someone like him. Price. McNeil was good. I thought maybe there's a way that the McNeil pick would work. You can keep him on the bench, make some money. There's no one here. Logan Morris isn't getting games all the time. Cooper Simpson isn't playing. Hipwood is too expensive. Jeffrey too expensive. Hutchinson, don't really like it. Yeah, I mean, no one. There is nobody available. That midfield is available. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. I mean, there's no one, right? Like, this is probably the worst year of Supercoach for rookies and cash gen players, right? Like, you hear me say that and go, oh, but you had Alex Sexton, you had who's ended up being good, Salem, Ali Reid was good. There have been good ones, but there has not been enough of them, and there's not been enough medium tier ones. Vital lost points. I mean, like, there's nobody. There is just nobody. All. What are you meant? What are you meant to do in a week like this? Like, what is actually the play? Can't keep them. You can't like keep these two. Maybe I don't know if that. Wait, let me do this. That. Get this done fast because I already see it's at 25 minutes. Do that and go playing in defense, which I don't need. Dawson back because I want to that can swap. Build, I could use one. That moved him up. Actually, no, that does, because then Fraser swaps Flanders, and then I get 2 in. I want to have... If last week happens again, I need all the scores possible. There is just nobody. Who are the top players getting in? Green, he had another poor week. Oh, he's got Port, and he's going to cop another tag. Round ownership change. Goulden, really? Sydney's stretch. Goulden hasn't had that great a year, honestly. On fire at the moment, but like hit and miss. GWS, Frio. Adelaide no tag, GWS no tag, Frio no tag, really a tag. St Kilda tag, but should go to Warner or Heaney. North no tag, Brisbane a tag, but again it should go because I'll probably go to Heaney because it's outside. Dogs no tag, Drew inside, could Warner. Worst, Gordon could cop tags though. Do this for now. I'm not a fan of it, but do that. Go Kruger, hoping he gets a game, and there's no one. Jordy Payne, I did see like a little bit of hype around on North socials. If Dawson gets dropped, he could get a game. Maybe not. I don't think any of their forwards are kind of like on their way out. Us. 230k. Forward, there we are. Mullen, yeah, people went on. Hutchinson. There's the Essendon guy, but they're on bye this week. Damn, there's nobody. There is no one. I'll go with Blight. He gets dropped. Or doesn't get named. So go there. Oh, I can't. I need something. Maybe I'll go Hutchinson. We'll see if he stays in the team. Maybe he does. Don't think he was that bad. I think just no. I want it. Not okay. That's that and oh, that brings me in. Light, who I'm a bit more comfortable with because I think he's all right. I haven't seen his stats for this week, but I think he's all right. Go with that, and that'll do. All right, that'll work as like a placeholder trade. Gives me 127k in the bank to use next week on a forward. Hopefully, there's Rochelli's came good. I can go 5 plus some like maybe 5 and McAuliffe. But yeah, that will be about it for this week. Let me know how you guys went. I think this was a pretty bad week for everyone. But yeah, I'll see you all next time. Tasty out.